suing advertiser groups for antitrust violation because here is what they do is they find content they don't like on X or Rumble or YouTube or Spotify. So if you're guilty of wrong, think like questioning the COVID vaccine, questioning lockdowns, questioning gender ideology, any of these things they don't like. What they do is they find that speech, they write bullshit reports saying that that's hate speech, and then they go and tell advertisers, look at this report, you better not be advertising on these platforms. Well, these platforms are saying that's illegal. That's an antitrust violation. And Rumble is also suing for the same reason. So again, what these agencies do is publish these crap reports they call hateful about hate speech or brand safety. And then they pressure advertisers to not put their money in these places. We actually have been featured in these places before because we are critical of what they call green solutions like electric vehicles and solar panels. So they call us climate haters, and they try to deplatform YouTube, or at least YouTube ads around our show. So, or they call us Russian propaganda or whatever it is. Now, X says that this hurts their business and this is an antitrust violation. Here is the lawsuit. You can see the case number at the top in case you want to follow this for yourself or read it. Here, the next one is Rumble's suit, and they are very similar. So I just think that you should have this. You can screenshot it, look it up for yourself. So who they are suing is the World Federation of Advertisers, Unilever, Mars, CVS, and Orsted. And all of these companies operate under this umbrella corporation called GARM. We've discussed them before. They're the Global Alliance for Responsible Media. Responsible My Foot. The brands here's a little snapshot of all the brands that are part of this conglomeration. And, you know, I had considered like, oh, I'm going to boycott all of them. It's really hard to live in the modern life and not use any of these companies. What they call themselves is a cross-industry initiative established by these advertisers, meaning they want to make sure none of these ad dollars go to what they consider as wrongthink. And they say they are the protectors then of what they call brand safety, meaning you better not advertise on these platforms because they may be unsafe or harmful to society. Here's just one example of what they call harmful content. They're saying anything that questions gender ideology, any debate about social issues, things that are insensitive. So even if they find anything on Twitter that's insensitive, then they're going to show this to advertisers and say, see, you don't want your ad revenue here. Twitter is an insensitive place. Any place with misinformation, well, we're going to talk about what they consider misinformation. Now, a lot of what they do was made public in the House of Representatives because they had asked them to produce documents about their practices last year. At first, GARM just ignored the subpoena. Eventually, they handed over the documents, and the House compiled this report here called GARM's Harm: How the World's Biggest Brands Seek to Control Online Speech. And here is what they found and just how powerful this group's ad dollars is. It says, this is from the House report, says that through GARM's large corporations, advertising agencies, and industry associations, they participate in boycotts and other coordinated action to demonetize platforms, podcasts, news outlets, and other content deemed disfavorable by GARM. They represent roughly 90% of global advertising spend, or almost $1 trillion annually. So they have quite the reach. Pretty much every advertiser checks with them and says, can we advertise here now? There's a lot of people here. Should we go there? And they'll say, we don't like what they're doing around X, Y, Z. And they'll just suppress these companies in order to choke out the platforms that they cannot control. Here's the CEO of X, Linda Yaccarino. She said that this report from Congress really surprised her.
Hey, everybody. I was shocked by the evidence uncovered by the House Judiciary Committee that a group of companies organized a systematic illegal boycott against X. It is just wrong. And that is why we are taking action. Today, we filed an antitrust lawsuit against the Global Alliance for Responsible Media, 4 of its key members, and the World Federation of Advertisers. These organizations targeted our company and you, our users. The evidence and facts are on our side. they conspire to boycott X, which threatens our ability to thrive in the future. That puts your global town square, the one place that you can express yourself freely and openly, at long-term risk. People are hurt when the marketplace of ideas is constricted. No small group of people should be able to monopolize what gets monetized.
Okay, but here's the question. Isn't it your right as a company to boycott whoever you want to? It is, but what if one of your businesses is seeking to sink another business on purpose by poisoning relationships to other clients? Isn't that antitrust? I thought it would be tort, but I'm not a lawyer, so that was not mentioned in these cases. If you understand the difference, maybe you can tell me. Twitter, or X, alleges, though, that this is an antitrust violation. And in fact, the House report shows that they're not the only ones suffering, that there could be other plaintiffs besides Rumble, such as Spotify. YouTube would be one of them. They're not going to do it because they're a GARM company, or even Fox News. Take a look at this. What they allege is that this is a violation of the Sherman Act. And what they do, like for instance on Elon Musk and Twitter, is that as soon as Elon Musk took over, they told all of their members to stop all paid advertisement just because Elon Musk bought Twitter. Just because of that, not even anything that had been said yet. And then later they bragged about taking on Elon Musk and that they had sunk Twitter's revenue by 80%. They also talked about how they went after Spotify and Joe Rogan specifically, because Joe Rogan had said that young people may not need a COVID vaccine if they were young and healthy. And in fact, they even admitted the antitrust implication when they said about Spotify that this Mr. Rakowitz from GARM said, well, we can't really publicly advise to all clients to do this because that could get us into hot water. Well, they are now because of anti-competitive and collusive behavior. So he knows he's doing it. He's doing it without doing it. He's saying, I'm not doing this, but, right? So he's doing it. And he says, instead of telling them what to do, we're going to help brands formulate a point of view. That is still collusion. It's not any better. We're still doing it. That also points out here, this House report, that they use the same strategy for outlets like Fox News, The Daily Wire, and Breitbart. So there are many plaintiffs that could get involved here. So far right now, it's only X and Rumble. So again, what we have here is political ideologues deciding to deplatform views that they don't like. But also, in this last screen, did you catch that reference to the Global Disinformation Context, or GDI? What they said is, and the bottom paragraph is that we use the GDI we use their reports in order to get advertisers to not advertise. Well, guess who funds the GDI? The U.S. State Department, through at least $330 million of taxpayer donations. So the State Department is deciding who to call out for hate speech or misinformation. And then these private companies are saying, okay, well, we won't advertise then. So they're just trying to keep making up crap report after crap report, and then using these crap reports to censor people online. And when they don't get their way, then they try to choke out the business of the platforms that allow them to speak freely. So not only that, though, Rumble says that it's not just taking away our platforms or our ability to speak or our, helping to elevate this content. It's also increasing ad prices because it's anti-competitive, because these groups decide the ad revenue on only content that they like, making ads more expensive because it only is going to a certain number of, so say you're ABC or CNN and you're guilty of producing the type of content they like, you can demand more money because you are a government mouthpiece, basically. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So X is suing for money, which could be considerable, given that they're saying, look, we've lost this much ad revenue. They're saying our participation has gone up, our user engagement, our users have gone up, our video platforms have gone up, but our ad revenue has gone down only because of these. So if they can prove it, then these advertisers and these groups will have to pay them money because of this lawsuit. Rumble not only wants that money, but they also want a permanent injunction to halt these practices, meaning a ruling so they cannot do it again, making this illegal.